for a summit. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
He's going to be meeting with dozens of world leaders who have flown here from all around the globe with the same mission to try to hammer out the details of this peace plan to ensure that the ceasefire holds and that there is an end to the war, an official end to the war in sight. And in order to do that, they really need to figure out some very key details of this timeline.
Earlier, President Trump spoke to Israel's Knesset.
We have done the impossible and brought our hostages home.
Hostage relative Avida Bakhar met with President Trump early in the day.
I rebuilt my house because the terrorists, they burned 150 houses in Barrie. So I want to tell you thank you.
Back here at home, it's day 13 of the government shutdown. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
There is no negotiating taking place among congressional leaders. Now, we do know when the Senate returns tomorrow, they will try again to vote on a short-term funding bill. Republican leaders at this point are really trying to force Democrats' hands here. They say, in their view, that's really the only way to open the government is if Democrats start to break ranks and support this short-term funding extension.
On the economy, CBS's Jim Krasula tells us holiday hiring may not be what it's been in recent years.
Tariffs and other economic factors are prompting retailers to pull back or even delay plans to hire workers for the upcoming Christmas shopping season. One job placement firm predicts that hiring for the last 3 months of the year will likely fall to its lowest level since the 2009 recession.
Wind and rain are battering much of the East Coast. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano is in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Winds very gusty. They've been gusting to near 60 miles an hour. This storm will slowly move out to sea, but before it does that, we have a pivotal high tide later on this afternoon that will cause inland flooding, not just here on the beaches, but in some communities just a bit inland.
More than 30 people were rescued when typhoon remnants battered western Alaska. Now to St. Helena Island, South Carolina.
En route to a possible active shooting situation, possible gunshot victims.
That's where a hunt is on for persons of interest. In the mass shooting at a bar over the weekend, 4 people were killed. Wall Street, the Dow is up 560. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Looking ahead to the Mariners Game 2 in Toronto, but first we go to the real-time traffic desk. Construction right now on SR 16 in Tacoma. That is right at Sprague Avenue, blocking the ramps from both northbound and southbound I-5. That is causing some pretty big backups onto South 5. I-5 northbound and southbound off ramps to Mercer Street in Seattle. Disabled vehicle blocking the ramp there, partially blocking the ramp. Other than that, the map is pretty much average for this time of day. Right now, Renton to Bellevue, 34 minutes. Pretty heavy right now through the S-curves. Looking at about a 30-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle and 37 minutes from Tacoma to Olympia. Lake Bridges, they are in very good shape at this hour. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control. Serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
And good morning, I'm Aaron Granillo. The Seattle Mariners look to keep the good vibes rolling today in Toronto.
And they take the opening game of this best-of-7 American League Championship Series.
Now today, Logan Gilbert takes the mound for the Mariners, looking to make it a 2-0 series lead.
Basically just asked me if I was good to go, and of course, I said yeah right away.
Gilbert is going on short rest after pitching in that epic 15-inning win on Friday night. Today's first pitch is at 2:03. The official watch party's at Victory Hall across the street from T-Mobile Park. Well, you will not be hearing or seeing this message at SeaTac Airport.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
That is Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem blaming Democrats for the federal government shutdown. Officials at SeaTac say it's just too political for their screens. A 5-minute brawl inside the Thurston County Jail left several deputies hurt. KIRO News Radio's Charlie Harger has details.
The sheriff says it started when one inmate put another into a chokehold, refused to let go. Corrections deputies jumped in to stop it, but the inmate fought back. One deputy had their knee twisted under the inmate's body weight. A sergeant chipped a tooth during the struggle. The inmate was originally booked for domestic violence. Now they face a new charge, assaulting a corrections officer.
And that inmate will be moved to an isolated cell once they're cleared from the hospital. Seahawks improved to 4-2 after a big road win in Jacksonville. Another big day for wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A spike in the end zone and a 61-yard rocket to number 11. JSN.
Smith-Njigba now leads the NFL in receiving, and the Hawks move in a first-place tie in the NFC West with the 49ers. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly dry this afternoon and a decent amount of sunshine as well. The next few days, cooler conditions overnights, maybe even some frost out there. Right now looking at 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Stretch. Canley has got to throw a strike. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung out, line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Where were you? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show on this Monday, October 13th. I am back from my trip, but G is now out for the next 2 days. Not to worry, though. Chef is here. So is Nick. And we're counting on all of you to help bring the heat that G normally has on this show. As always, we do have a super packed show for you. As you heard, Chef, our Seattle Mariners are in it to win it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. There are no words.
Yes. Where were you when this happened?
Here we go, the stretch. Canley has got to throw a strike. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung out, line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. The Mariners win the battle in Seattle in 15 innings. The Mariners win it 3-2.
We want to hear from you. How are you feeling about the team? What does this run mean to you today at this moment? Our KIRO News Radio text line is open for you to weigh in. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. So let's get to it. Our top stories at 9 brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest. Chef, it was just an incredible performance from the Mariners pitching staff last night behind the start of Big Tex Bryce Miller.
Another 2-2 for Miller. Swing and a miss. He got him, put him away with a nasty slider buried in the dirt. He strikes out Springer to retire the side in order. That is 14 of the last 15 Blue Jays hitters sat down by Bryce Miller.
I mean, think about it. After using 7 pitchers in Friday night's 15-inning marathon, Miller, along with 3 M's relievers, were able to shut down the explosive Blue Jays offense, allowing just 2 hits and 1 run in that entire game. And then, of course, Cal Raleigh comes through.
The 2-2 to Cal. Swung on, blasted, right field. This is gonna go. It is gone. Cal Raleigh, oh Canada, a solo home run, and this game is tied.
Okay, so they play again this afternoon. I mean, talk about just one after another. But how? I mean, bring us back to Friday.
Friday. Okay, so it's been years since I sat down and watched anything together with my whole family. My mom, my dad, Matthew, Alice, Gabby. And we're sitting down together for that game. It's going 12 innings. Mom's like, are they still playing? They're still playing. Everyone's together on the couch. You see 2 consecutive innings. Every Mariners batter goes to a 3-2 count. Full count. Couple runners on base. They fail. They fail again. After 15 innings, let me try and explain the feeling to you if you're not a sports fan that you might be able to relate to. So, have you ever known someone for like 30 years who just really struggled in life? Uncle Dave, he was your favorite. he dropped out of high school. He fathered a child as a teenager, got into drugs, went into rehab. You see him get out and you think, oh, Dave's finally going to make it. No, he gets back on the drugs and bounces in and out of jail, finally gets out, goes through rehab again. And for 30 years, you never stop rooting for Dave. You never stop loving him.
Okay,
you have to give up hope.
Yes.
You never give up hope, right? But you have to kind of distance yourself to protect yourself from that kind of pain. And then after 30 years, in the course of 8 months, Dave, he claws his way through rehab. He gets a degree. He finds a place to live. He gets his parental visitation rights back. He meets a wonderful woman, gets married. They fall in love. Your son meets Uncle Dave at the wedding, and you know that all your family members are going to be together to share this future with Dave. It is like those 30 years of pain and hope and disappointment and loss and love all come together and just explode in this moment of pure joy and ecstasy. And I think
I love that storytelling.
I think there was someone who was there to witness it from our show.
Yes.
Is that you, Nick?
Oh yeah, I was up there behind third.
49,000 people.
Crazy. Yeah.
Okay, well, describe that.
I mean, it was the loudest I've ever heard a baseball game. Like, I went to the Sunday game too, and I thought that was great. But this one, you could see, and even after on social media, they had the Richter Riz scale installed on the floor, and it kind of had a little mini earthquake when Jorge hit that walk-off hit. And I was just so happy for the team, and especially the fans, because when I was looking around at the stands, you could see some of the parents and the kids. They were getting a little cranky and tired and getting pouty and crying, and I was kind of feeling bad, and I was thinking, are they going to leave? And the parents, they sat down, they were cuddling with their kids, trying to comfort them, and they're like, we're not leaving, we got to stay. So they toughed it out, all of them. It was over a 5-hour game. So yes. It was...
Okay, I want to hear from everybody. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We posted Nick's video. We posted Chef's family video on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. So if you don't do the texting thing, weigh in there as well. We want to share all of the great thoughts and the memories you have of watching these and why this means so much to us right now. I have some theories, and we'll get into it at 10 o'clock because I've just seen something so beautiful happen and I even watched while I was overseas, seeing how people were reacting.
In the middle of the night in Portugal,
yes,
you're watching.
Yes. It was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we were watching. My son is traveling. My youngest son is traveling in Japan. They were watching over there. He was watching there. He said, Mom, I'm only here in Osaka for 2 days, and I'm spending all these hours watching the M's. He says, but it was so worth it.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So anyway, want to hear from all of you, and we will share some of your stories. But let's talk about this historic day in Israel as the 20 remaining living hostages taken by Hamas 2 years ago have now been released.
This is the first glimpse of freedom for the remaining Israeli hostages, released after enduring 2 long years in captivity. In a place that has been dubbed Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, jubilant crowds came together to celebrate.
CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports President Trump is in Israel. He met with families of the hostages. He also addressed Israel's parliament.
This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
The president expressed his gratitude to the prime minister,
whose partnership did so much to make this momentous day possible.
And his message was clear. The war is over.
Israel, with our help, has won all that they can by force of arms. You've won.
He said the state of Israel is now strong.
And it will live and thrive forever.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
And later, the president will be heading to Egypt for a peace summit. And since this ceasefire began, Chef, thousands of people have returned to Gaza.
Yeah, I mean, any move towards peace is good and needs to be celebrated. Any move towards reconciling families who've been torn apart for years is good. I think there were roughly 2,000 Palestinians who were returned from detention in exchange for the remaining hostages. About another 1,000 or so were returned in prior exchanges. But I don't trust the parties involved in this. I don't trust Hamas. I don't trust Netanyahu's government. And I don't really trust the Trump administration to keep an even hand on the situation. The ceasefire is not unconditional. So Israel is insisting that Hamas must entirely disarm, and Netanyahu's promised that Israeli forces are going to remain in Gaza until that happens. And I feel like it also could have happened sooner. Did tens of thousands of people have to die? Did Gaza have to be utterly destroyed for this to happen? If you listen to many hostage families, they feel the return of their family members should have been prioritized over Netanyahu pursuing the devastation of Gaza and military goals. This is a good day for all of the families that are reconnecting.
For sure.
It is not an end.
Oh, it's not an end. I mean, it is not an end. But I want to say, give credit where credit is due. I think this could be one of President Trump's biggest accomplishments in either of his terms. For the first time in 2 years, and I'm just trying to put the video to see these families reconnected. And some of these hostages so gaunt and almost unrecognizable, but just the reunification of these families is incredible. And it's a breakthrough and a breath of hope that we haven't had in this region in a long time. If the ceasefire holds and if the transition is well managed, this could shift the whole Gaza war from the cycle of destruction to rebuilding, which, again, and I understand your point about how long it went and how much destruction and devastation and death has been involved. But this, I think, also reinforces the idea that the U.S. does still matter in the Middle East, and has a role as mediator and power broker. So I'm going to look at the positive, and wow, it's a huge day. Okay, let's talk about what's happening at SeaTac Airport. Did just go through there, and did I tell you my bags never made it?
Wait,
That's
what?
a whole other story. I'll get into that in 47. Not SeaTac's fault, though. But SeaTac Airport right now is refusing to show a video from Homeland Security that blames Democrats for the government shutdown. And our reporter Luke Ducey's been tracking this story, and he joins us live.
Yeah, let's listen to part of that video featuring Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
The video started airing last Thursday in airports across the country, and it didn't seem too political at that point, but it gets worse to a lot of people. Let's play the second part of it, and then we'll let you obviously talk about it.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
So the Port of Seattle is saying that they will not play this video at SEA because it's too political. The government shutdown is now into its 9th day. The Senate failed to approve a short-term spending bill on Thursday. They will hold another session on Friday before leaving for the weekend, so maybe they'll get a deal done then. But Spokane Airport and Portland International are also saying not going to play that video.
Yeah, I was looking into it, and I saw that Ohio, the Akron Canton Airport, Buffalo, New York, they're also saying we're not going to air it. And these airports, I believe, are doing the right thing by refusing to air them. For one thing, this would set a horrible precedent. I mean, whether it is the Republican Party messaging that or the Democratic Party, this would be awful. It would also be a violation under the Hatch Act, which I don't think a lot of people know about, which basically bars the federal employees from using their positions or government resources for partisan purposes.
Imagine getting a campaign email from, I don't know, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, right? That is what this is. I was not aware that there were woke airports in the United States, but apparently we have woke airports. Maybe they're even Antifa airports. Because these are airports that are refusing to put out government propaganda messaging. And how dare they? I can't wait for the reprisals because they're coming. And anyone who's been on a federal website, whether it's Department of Homeland Security or any other federal site, it has that same banner across the top. The radical left has shut down. Stop it. It's childish.
Well, it is. And not only would it set a bad precedent, there is no precedent for Department of Homeland Security or any other federal agency pushing partisan video on it, to be aired in public facilities. I mean, if you look back after 9/11, what was being aired? Do you remember if you see something, say something?
Right.
I mean, that's a usage. That's not political. That is applies to everybody. Same thing during the COVID pandemic. And they were talking, it was actually Department of Homeland Security, TSA, and CDC running messages at the airport about, focusing on public health. But this one, like actually blaming one party or the other, the Republicans wouldn't want that either. So, no, this is not the direction that you want to go, for sure. Okay, this is something that's near and dear to your heart, Chef. The popular paid family and medical leave program is in trouble. We're finding out now. It's not because people don't like it.
Yes.
It's because people
Quite
like
the opposite.
it too much. So this program allows you to take up to 12 weeks of paid time off to recover if you're sick or you want to care for a loved one. And it has exploded in popularity since it launched in 2020. I mean, we're talking about last year alone, more than 240,000 Washingtonians got benefits totaling over $2 billion. So the problem is the fund is on track to run a deficit of more than $350 million by 2029. Yeah, again, you say, because they already had to infuse, what was it?
$200 million, I think.
Or
something
350. Oh, no, excuse me. They had to, yes, exactly. So they already had to put in some money. So what happens when the money runs out is the question they're trying to deal with. Either lawmakers raise the cap, which Republicans oppose, because basically the state law caps premiums at 1.2%, right? So workers are paying basically
directly out of our checks.
Exactly. So, but the fund's going to hit that ceiling by 2027. So what do? Republicans are saying, no, why don't we focus on scaling back the benefit itself? It's Senator Curtis King of Yakima in this Seattle Times article says this has gotten too generous. He would like to cut back the number of weeks of paid leave or restrict the events that qualify for eligibility. And Senator Steve Conway of Tacoma says this program is just too popular to let fail. He wants a more forward-looking way to set rates. What do you think should happen?
I think people should just stop having kids. I mean, if it gets expensive enough, this problem will solve itself.
Okay.
People will have less children. It will become solvent again. I'd be open to, reducing the number of weeks.
Yeah, I would be too.
We had this conversation, I think, on last week when Josh Naylor was going to be out for paternity leave for the birth of his first child. And Gee was saying, 12 weeks for dads is ridiculous. I don't agree with that. But I'd also rather have a benefit that's available to everyone than either taxing people more, because it is regressive, it's a percentage of your paycheck, or getting rid of it entirely, or saying, oh, you can't do it because it's your grandpa who has cancer, even though you're the only person in your family who lives in this state and you have to care for him.
Yeah, I think you make good points. I actually tend to agree with Gee to some degree in terms of, I think there are people who abuse it. In some cases, 12 weeks, that makes sense if someone's really sick. But 12 weeks, and I'm going to maybe hack off some dads here.
Okay.
But let's just say, I mean, I don't know that you need to have the 12 weeks. I think that there should probably be more qualifications or requirements to meet that standard and reduce it so that I think it is a great idea. And obviously a lot of people do too, and they're using it. But I think that there are areas where you can make it much more sustainable.
There are also places on this earth where they're federally funded programs. I mean, I would be in support of the federal government helping out and setting a nationwide standard of 4 weeks. They cover 4 weeks. If your state wants to go beyond that, that is the type of social program the federal government should be funding, because it benefits everyone. Anything that helps families.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, well, and we're going to talk about childcare here coming up, too. Still ahead, we need to talk about Seattle being one of the costliest cities in America for childcare, and it is only getting worse. So what are some solutions? We'll talk about that coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show.
That sensation we're all feeling right now?
It's the playoffs, man.
That's playoff fever.
They're good. They're going to win at home, is that what we all want?
Yes. They're the talk of the town.
So excited, I can hardly stand it.
KIRO News Radio has all the Mariners buzz.
Some of us even ate dirt. Some of us did. To sway the outcome.
And our partner Seattle Sports has the games.
A winning solution. Hearing Rick call
You're gonna want to hear
home
Rick.
run.
You talk about a no-doubter.
Listen free on the Seattle Sports app.
At Care Partners Senior Living, we believe in providing quality care at an affordable price. Instead of spending on luxury and expensive art, we invest in our people and accommodations with a focus on compassionate overall health. Our communities offer independent, assisted living and memory care designed to preserve dignity, independence, and your estate. Affordable, personal, trusted. That's our promise. Please give us a call. We have beautiful Care Partners communities throughout Washington and Arizona. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile. Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
Those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
If you use the carpool lanes along SR 167 after October 20th, you will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Hey 12's Steve Rabel here for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. For men 40 and older, a simple PSA blood test can help intercept prostate cancer early. You can get the simple test before the Crucial Catch game, October 20th at Ticketmaster Tailgate.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
CBS News special report, a signing ceremony underway now in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt for the Gaza peace deal. President Trump is there for a regional summit to chart the course ahead.
All leaders, the big leaders are here, the emirs and the kings and everybody, and it's a very interesting group. I guess we have like 35 countries, and that's only because they were the 35 that we invited. Everybody that we invited came. So there's a lot of respect.
Earlier in Israel, he called it an incredible triumph as Hamas released the remaining 20 living hostages it held. Israel freed 1,900 Palestinian prisoners. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
You are committed to this peace. I am committed to this peace. And together, Mr. President, we will achieve this peace.
Israel has rejected any role in Gaza for the Palestinian Authority, whose leader is at the Egypt summit. CBS News Special Report, I'm Steve Kathan.
And I'm Aaron Granillo. Even with today's peace deal, many questions remain about the future of governance in Gaza. Washington U.S. Representative Adam Smith tells Seattle's Morning News.
Hamas is at a very low point. They have to be kept down and out.
The original peace deal brokered by the U.S. calls for a new Palestinian committee to rule Gaza, not Hamas. It is day 13 of the government shutdown, and both houses of Congress remain in recess. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We will return to legislative session as soon as the Democrats come to their senses and open the government.
Well, Democrats say they are not going to vote on a partisan spending bill. President Trump again threatening to end some government programs if the shutdown continues. Seattle Mariners turn their attention to Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. They stole home field from Toronto last night.
This is gonna go! It is gone! Cal Raleigh! Oh, Canada!
Logan Gilbert takes the mound today for the M's. First pitch is at 2:03. Turning now to the real-time traffic desk. This report is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Construction on SR 16 in Tacoma. That is slowing you down right around Sprague Avenue. It is blocking the ramps from both north and southbound I-5. Causing a decent backup right now on southbound 5, right about the Fife curve, but it is starting to clear out a little bit. Tacoma to Olympia, pretty clear until you hit Olympia. That is about a 30-minute drive right now. Looking at about a 30-minute drive from Linwood to Seattle as well. Lake bridges are wide open. The Renton to Bellevue Drive, a little slow through the S-curve, is starting to thin out as well. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest, the best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are mostly clear today. Lots of sunshine. Still on the chillier side, though, this afternoon. Highs in the 50s. Right now, 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us. Gee is off today and tomorrow. Chef is in, co-hosting with me, and we are going to talk about childcare, something Chef, you know all too well.
A little bit, yeah. Before we get rolling here, can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
While you were gone,
yeah.
Do you know how many people wrote in asking, is Ursula okay? Did something happen?
Oh, that is
Did
so
Ursula... People asked if you retired.
I know. A friend of mine texted me, said, people think you've retired. I'm like,
we'd make an announcement.
Yeah, if I just suddenly slip away with nothing, I have failed in life.
Absolutely.
Okay, but let's talk about childcare, because we are paying among the highest childcare costs in the entire country. That comes as no surprise to anyone who is shelling out that dough. Some families spending more than $5,000 a month for their kids. Even high-income earners say this is just not sustainable. And this is an article out of the Seattle Times. They actually did a couple of articles, and there was one physician couple telling the Times that they pay nearly $48,000 a year for part-time care, and they've had to cut their own work hours to cope with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about, that just eliminates a lot of people from basically being able to have childcare.
I mean, just look at the age gaps. Matthew is 4 years older than Alice for a reason, because can you afford 2 in childcare at the same time?
No.
3? Good luck.
No. Okay, well, so let's get specific. Infant care in King County averages about $30,000 a year. For toddlers, we're talking about $26,000, not much difference. Preschool averages more than $22,000. So many parents are saying, I got to work part-time, or like you said, they're delaying having a second child, maybe not having more children, or they're just moving away. And the spots are scarce. And this is something I remember even when we were getting ready to have Stephen. And I wasn't sure how our childcare was going to look. I was working very part-time, my husband too. And there was a well-known childcare center near the Seattle Times old building. And I went there before we even had a kid, and there was a wait list. And I think that's just still the norm. Some centers are booked into 2026, especially for babies and toddlers.
Yes.
Wait lists can go for 2 years. And so families have to try to put together their care with a combination of relatives. If you're lucky to have relatives here, nannies. I mean, that's essentially my mother-in-law in particular, but my parents too. We were lucky. I had my parents and my in-laws who could help out. Otherwise, I couldn't have done it, for sure. So it seems that we're at a breaking point, which begs the question, what can we do about it?
Parents can't pay more. I know most can't. It already guts me knowing that the people who take care of my child are making a poverty level wage. And there's very few people who could afford to pay more.
I mean, you talk about how much they're making. What is it?
About 18 to 20, a little more than minimum wage. I think most of them make about $20 an hour, 22, something like that.
And we know what the cost of living is in this
Often
area.
no health care either with that hourly wage.
And how do they explain? Okay, this is just a question that popped in my head, because you pay so much for the child care, and yet the providers are paid so little. So where's the rest of that money going?
Gosh, that is a really hard question. Part of it I know is the startup and maintenance costs of the business. Part of it is the fact that insurance is so incredibly high.
That's true.
That's an effect of being in a society where if your toddler happens to choke on a Cheeto while they're at daycare, that's a lawsuit. And then there are caps, for good reason, on how many kids can be with how many providers or how many healthcare or daycare workers. So I think like a class of 3 and 4-year-olds, you can have like maybe 6 kids per teacher. So I mean, you can't spread it out too much, which is especially why infant care is so expensive. It's like a 1 to 2 or 3 ratio, basically. And I assume some places make bank, and I assume there are a lot of places that simply do not.
So one of the thoughts, though, is to expand child care vouchers. And Working Connections Childcare is a program that helps more than 60,000 kids statewide, including more than 19,000 in King County. But to qualify, I mean, you have to earn less than 60% of the state median income. So we're talking about $84,000 for a family of 4. So one of the ideas is to raise that amount so that it could actually help middle-income families. I would love to hear what you all think about that.
So from what I understand, it would cost about $150 million to add like roughly 20,000 kids to this. It's supposed to happen in 2029. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to this sliding scale of qualification for benefits, because for so long in our society, if you are just above the poverty line, you don't qualify for anything. No subsidized for your college, no food stamps, no tax breaks for you. And it almost feels punishing to be in the middle class. But,
right.
New Mexico's doing this. They have, in just 2 weeks, childcare is going to be free for every family in New Mexico, regardless of income.
Wow.
I think it costs them like $600 million a year, right? And if I did do the math, just basically about 2 million people in New Mexico, about 8 million people here, a similar program would probably cost about $2.25 billion, something like that. How much are we bringing in from the Climate Commitment Act? If we are going to tax people very heavily on some good that they use every single day, and it's going to be a regressive tax, like that money should go back to people in some kind of appreciable way, or way that benefits society.
Yeah.
So again, federal funding would be great. It's not going to happen during this administration. It depends on what they're going to try and make space for, but I could see this going away.
Now, share your stories. Destiny in Seattle just texted in and said, we have one child and we pay $2,600 per month. And because we shared this expense with our friends, 3 couples have decided not to have children. That is an issue for the state.
That is heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking. That if you decide, I just can't do it.
Without even looking at the text line, I can guarantee there are 2 or 3 people who are saying, well, if you can't afford kids, don't have kids. And that seems like an unreasonable argument, but I also have to point out it is a eugenicist argument. The argument that you should only be able to have kids if you can afford them naturally leads in our society into a situation where the only people who have kids or who can afford them are super rich people.
Yeah.
And that's not the society I want to live in.
Exactly.
Everyone should have a chance at a family. And if there's something we can do to help that, I would love to see it.
Stan in Linwood just texted in and said, thanks for a serious discussion about this. I used to have an in-home daycare, 13-hour days. I mean, that's another thing. What's the incentive for people to go into this? Seriously.
It's a tough business.
I don't know that you have to have a passion for kids.
Yeah.
Because I don't know of many people who are making bank doing this.
And the ones that do and do it well, I mean...
Yeah,
I love the people who take care of Alice. They have such a heart for kids. I would love to see them get paid more too.
Right. Exactly. Okay, still ahead. I'm back from my trip. I'm calling it trip to Portugal. I was in Spain, but it was only for 24 hours. So there was a lot that I learned. I also found out that more Americans are choosing to call Portugal home, and they have a lot of thoughts about what's going on here. So we'll share some of that coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
weekdays 3 to 7,
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Doc, the one question I keep getting is, was it painful? Should I be nervous about the procedure for a refractive lens exchange? Do you get that question a lot?
Well, definitely, Spike. And I would expect everyone to be a little bit nervous about this. This is a procedure on your eyes. When you come, I think you'll be very comforted by our team. A little bit of medication under the tongue or orally so that you get nice and relaxed. Procedure itself typically takes between 5 and 7 minutes, is utterly painless before, during, and after the procedure. So once they're done, the most common thing we hear by far is, I can't believe it was that easy. I can't believe I waited that long to have this done.
Do what I did. Schedule a consultation to learn everything you need to know from the best. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020. Or go online to sharp-vision.com. Sharp with an E-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
If you use the SR 167 Express toll lanes after October 20th without a Good-to-Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top-quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low-maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new leak armor installed windows through October. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope. Because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out for the next 2 days. I am back after a 2-week vacation, and I will tell you that, first of all, I'm thrilled to be back. And you guys saw, I started texting you a couple days before my vacation ended. I was like, I'm ready to get back.
You never really fully go on vacation. You're always checking in.
It is true. But, I mean, so much was happening over here, so I couldn't fully disengage. But I will just say that this was one of the best trips I've gone on in a long, long time for a number of reasons. But we spent 10 days in Portugal, and I only spent 2 days in Spain. And I had to come back for work. I was traveling with 5 other women, and they stayed a few more days in Spain. So they'll just be returning, I think, today. But I hadn't been back to Portugal since I did one of those backpack around Europe when I was in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was the last time I'd been in Portugal.
Wow.
And I remembered then saying, this country is incredibly beautiful. I mean, I did something crazy when I was in my 20s, which was the woman that I met on the train. We were traveling together. We stayed at a home of a Portuguese family that we had just met. And they invited us to stay, and we said yes.
Wow.
Nothing weird. I mean, how would I do that today? Would I tell my kids to do that? Probably not. But that was the last thing I remember. So going back, I mean, the country is stunning. It is beautiful, beautiful landscapes. But even more so, it's the people. I was curious if I would face anti-American sentiment. And there was none of that. I did not feel that at all. Now,
were there questions?
There were questions.
Okay.
And they have a lot of opinions. But funny enough, I had to instigate the conversations about it. I think they were kind of
Right, it's an elephant in a room.
Right, and they love their tourists. And again, I should say the places we went. I was in Lisbon and I was in Porto.
Okay.
So those are very tourist heavy because we heard about the protests, like it's getting too much. One of the things that they're dealing with in Portugal is that a lot of Americans are moving there permanently.
Yeah.
They are leaving the U.S. and moving there because, again, it's beautiful. It's a foodie's paradise. And it's
cost of living?
Yes. It's relatively cheap. Now, for the Portuguese, it's very expensive. They were telling me that their minimum wage is like 800 euros a month. And their cost of living is huge. So one bedroom can be almost your entire
salary for the month.
Yeah, so you have to room with somebody. So they're dealing with a lot of
that.
They're dealing with immigration issues too. The ultra-conservative party in Portugal is making strides because of the immigration issue. So there were some similarities that I was surprised to learn about, that immigration is a big issue in many countries. They had opinions about our current administration.
Positive?
Generally not positive, but again, they were
circumspect, I guess.
Yeah, and more curious. Not it wasn't outright hate or anything like that. It was just more like, we're worried about you. We're worried about what's happening because the U.S. has always been seen as this beacon of hope and this grand experiment. And is this grand experiment going to continue to work? With the exception of one, we were on a tour in Porto. Y'all know I don't drink. But man, I had more wine on this trip than
it's kind of
ever.
impossible
it's
in Europe.
It's impossible to avoid.
Because they just pour it and
Yes. And we actually went on a wine tour, which I strongly recommend. But our tour guide then was like the most sympathetic to Trump of anyone we encountered. And even then he had some questions. But their tone was never hostile. It was more just like, how are things going? We want you to succeed kind of thing. You want to know another big surprise for me?
What's that?
Portugal has a lot of graffiti.
What?
I even took pictures. I didn't post it on the Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page.
You should have.
But I was like, are you kidding me?
It's inescapable.
It is inescapable.
It's a human instinct.
But you know what they told me?
What's that?
What's awful is that because so many of the buildings are historic, you can't erase it. So they are ruining these historic buildings.
I know, as opposed to historic I-5. I'm not gonna let you get out of here though without asking you, because last week we talked about a rising trend of women taking solo vacations, either themselves alone or with friends, to escape their families, jobs, etc. 5 ladies.
Yes.
How many single?
None.
None? Was there still partying?
Yes, there was.
There was partying?
We even did karaoke. We did karaoke.
You did karaoke.
Went dancing a couple nights.
How late did you stay out?
They have a very, by the way, they don't get going until 10 o'clock at night.
So it's perfect for you.
Yes. Being a night owl. Even my friend Laura was way more active. I was like, okay, I can't even keep up with her. There were some nights, and part of it was I was dealing with jet lag. Yeah. But very active nightlife, very active food life, and
I would
a
go
lot
there
of drinking.
For the seafood.
Yes.
Yeah. One last question before we get out of here.
For the first time.
I find that traveling makes me think differently about home.
Yes.
Did you feel that? And if so, how?
I did. And I came back, and also just taking time away, especially when I took it. Mm-hmm. And it just gave me this renewed purpose of we need to keep fighting for us to have the best that this country can offer. Mm. And I think that it was just great to take a break because we were exhausted before going on vacation. But I have this renewed sense of I just want, I'm not giving up on this country. I know that I joked about, like, well, maybe I can move to Portugal when I retire. No, I want to retire here in the United States.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Anyway, if you guys have any questions, thank you. You can text 888-973-5476, 888-9873, KIRO. I strongly recommend if you can go to visit Portugal. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, still ahead, we've got more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of 4 all-weather tires. You'll get year-round all-weather performance, no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. And every tire comes with America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Ooh, mate, remember those yodelers we met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
If you use the carpool lanes along SR 167 after October 20th, you will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump is in Egypt.
Can we get the documents, please?
For a summit and signing ceremony for the Gaza peace plan.
It's peace in the Middle East, and everybody said it's not possible to do. And it's going to happen, and it is happening. It's before your very eyes.
Earlier, Trump was in Israel, where he got a hero's welcome on a day when Hamas released the remaining 20 living hostages it holds. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Reunited after 2 years of captivity. The 20 living hostages released today are finally embracing their families. Cheers erupted in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv as crowds gathered to watch coverage of the hostages' return and President Trump's speech before Israel's parliament.
This is not only the end of a war. This is the end of an age of terror and death.
CBS News correspondent Deborah Patta.
The first day of mourning for families whose loved ones were killed in Hamas captivity. We understand 4 of the 28 hostages killed. Those bodies will be handed over today so that they can be laid to rest.
Israel released 1,900 Palestinian prisoners as part of the swap. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports potential stumbling blocks do still exist.
Israel, for example, is going to push back if it's required to withdraw from Gaza entirely before Israel feels that all the milestones have been reached.
Day 13 of the government shutdown. Kentucky realtor Ivy Barksdale is bracing for trouble with federal loans if it drags on.
All the clients that we have under contract now, their FHA loans, their USDA loans are moving right along.
A storm system lashing the Atlantic coast with wind and rain today. CBS's Rob Marciano is in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
New Jersey leading the way here with this power outages. Over 50,000 in the storm zone without power, and the winds obviously still ripping here along the Jersey Shore. My goodness, 10, 15 footers here pounding this shoreline, and not just in New Jersey, but up and down the East Coast.
On the Health Watch today, CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula tells us
medical experts are calling it deeply concerning. The spread of drug-resistant superbugs is surging, with the World Health Organization sounding an alarm. The United Nations Health Agency says that 1 in 6 laboratory-confirmed bacterial infections worldwide in 2023 showed resistance to antibiotic treatments.
And on Wall Street, the Dow is up 650 points. This is CBS News.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Coming up, the Mariners' magical ride continues in Canada today. But first, we go to the real-time traffic desk. This report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Map is looking very good at this hour. Just a couple of trouble spots, mainly in the South Sound. We'll start in Tacoma, SR 16, some construction right approaching I-5 right now. Slows you down a little bit, approaching southbound I-5 right after the Fife curve. And then also on I-5 approaching Olympia, there is some guardrail work, also slowing you down a bit on southbound I-5, starting to right around Lacey. Other than that, just typical slow spots heading into downtown Seattle, Linwood to Seattle, about a 30-minute drive. The S-curves in approaching Bellevue, a little slow through Renton, but that is starting to thin out as well. And the lake bridges are wide open. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Aaron Granillo. On to Game 2 in Toronto, where the Seattle Mariners hold a 1-0 series lead over the Blue Jays.
Swinging a ground ball right side and through for a base hit. Here comes Randy on to score from third. Down to second goes Julio and Jorge Polanco. Mr. Timely coming through with another RBI single.
And today, the Mariners are giving the ball to starting pitcher Logan Gilbert. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey with details on the official watch party.
After an emotional hangover from Friday night's Division Series Game 5 win.
I mean, this is... it's crazy.
Fans can watch the Championship Series Game 2 against the Blue Jays for free at Victory Hall across the street from T-Mobile Park, featuring a 23-foot big screen TV, food, wine, and beer, prize giveaways, including autographed baseballs and jerseys. Mariner Moose will also be there. First pitch is 2:03. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
SeaTac Airport decides to not show this video message from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government. And because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
Port of Seattle says the video is just too political. The Seattle Times reports the port says it wants bipartisan efforts to end the shutdown. We have an update on that ammonia leak at a frozen fish facility in Burlington this morning. Company Scholar says no employees were hurt and it is investigating the cause. Air quality is still being monitored. Operations will not resume until it's safe. Hazmat teams have lifted a shelter-in-place order after crews responded to a chemical odor coming from a refrigeration unit. Seahawks took it to the Jaguars in Jacksonville, sacking their quarterback Trevor Lawrence 7 times yesterday.
They hit him as he stepped up in the pocket, and they just knocked the loose change out of his pockets as he goes down at the 25.
Hawks won it 20-12 and improved to 4-2. They are tied with the 49ers now for first place in the NFC West. Weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly clear skies today. Staying on the chillier side, though, highs in the upper 50s and overnight lows right around 40 degrees. Right now looking at 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. I'm back from vacation, but G is now on vacation himself, but just for a couple of days. Chef is in, Nick is in, Aaron is in because Heather's taking a vacation as well. And of course, we're going to be talking about our beloved Seattle Mariners and this great run we're having. Aaron's going to stick around for that conversation coming up. But I've got a question for all of you that I would love for you to text in or weigh in on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. Is it different this time around? And if so, why is it so different? And what is it about the Seattle Mariners run or this sports event just in general that makes this so special? Because I have some theories on this one. So we'll talk about that. 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
So as you just heard Aaron say, the Seattle Mariners' incredible run in the playoffs continues this afternoon after they beat the Toronto Blue Jays last night 3-1. This fan telling KIRO 7 TV, it has been a long time coming.
I'm turning 34 this year, so being 10 the last time this happened, just insane.
Last night's win for the M's came just 2 days after Friday's 15-inning victory in Game 5 of the ALDS. Mariners manager Dan Wilson says, yep, this team is definitely resilient.
Tremendous. I think, we've talked about just how resilient these guys are, and tonight was one of those instances again.
Okay, so in case you missed the top of our show, Chef, I watched at a sports bar. My husband and our oldest son were watching from the Husky game. Which the Huskies won, but who cares because everyone was paying attention to the Mariners. I
was watching with Matthew. We got tickets to the Husky game on Friday, and I told Gabby, no, we're not going to the Husky game. Yesterday was a bonus, though. I figured they would go into Toronto exhausted. You're probably gonna drop the first game, and it was just they were nails, absolutely nails yesterday.
I was surprised about yesterday's win because I was thinking, okay, they've got home advantage. Toronto's such a great team. How are they going to pull this off after they must be tired, et cetera, et cetera. But wow, look. Aaron Granillo.
Yes.
I would say arguably maybe the biggest M's fan we have in the building. David
There are a lot of
Burbank.
us.
Yeah,
There are a lot of us.
I know. Okay. I know.
Everyone says that. And I always feel like, well, you take,
taking credit away from others.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, so you're one of the biggest
There
for
you go.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, describe how you're feeling at this moment.
You can't tell my voice is shot from screaming. I was at the game Friday night, too.
Oh, you were with
Yeah.
Nick.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so lucky.
Yeah, it was all-time moment. What an electric environment that was.
Were people standing the whole entire time?
Yeah. And I will say, so
for 4.5 hours.
It was insane. So certainly every 2-strike pitch, the crowd rises to its feet. And you can just feel the tension and the energy of playoff baseball in that building. I've seen a lot of games at T-Mobile Park. I usually go to like 5 or 6 regular season games a year. Just to be there in a postseason do-or-die elimination game to see 47,000 fans cheering, not standing into every pitch. It's why I love baseball.
Yeah.
And why I agree with Nick that playoff baseball is far superior to any other postseason out there.
Yeah. Now, did you think there was a good chance that the M season was going to be over that night?
I think you go in thinking it's one game, and who knows?
Yeah.
I had no idea, and I have no idea what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Trying to predict baseball, good luck.
Yeah.
It's the most unpredictable sport on the planet. Leo Rivas coming in Game 5. Did anybody know Leo Rivas was on this team? Who's an average?
Who?
Exactly. I'm sorry.
What?
Josh Naylor stealing third base against Tarek Skubal. Nobody has stolen third base against Tarek Skubal all season. Naylor, big boy, stealing third.
It's like the second slowest player in baseball.
Thank you. And who's he driven in by that night? Mitch Garver?
Okay. So
Unlikely
all these
heroes.
unlikely things had to happen
Yes.
for them to pull it together.
Yes.
So what is it, and I want to hear from all of you, and text us as well, what is it about this team that all of it's coming together?
Well, I think there is a lot of hope and optimism with this bunch of guys because they went all in at the trade deadline, and it's paying off. And the last few years, you always knew that the pitching staff was dominant. They've been, top 5 for the last couple of years. They were okay this year, the pitching staff. But you went all in at the deadline, and you really got the whole fan base believing that this could be the year. And now they're playing like it. Mm-hmm. And so you're starting to believe. And to have belief as a Mariner fan is a strange place to be in. We're not used to this.
Yes. It's very strange.
And Chef, I saw the video that you shared on the Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, which also Nick being in the stands for that night. Those two videos are among our most shared and most liked videos
of all time
since the start of our show.
5 years.
And my question is, what is it about this that makes it so special?
I think it's changed my attitude about sports a little bit because I've become very jaded. I understand that there's huge money involved. That's still happening with baseball here. Huge salaries, etc., massive media deals. And unfortunately, sports is one of the few venues left in our world where there's this shared collective joy that can happen where a community coalesces. Like, I can't think of another thing that we have where, hundreds of thousands of people, regardless of age, background, political orientation, all come together and pull for the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's something special about going through that as a community.
And bingo. And that was the theory that I was going to bring up. It was like, we don't give a you-know-what about where you stand politically. We don't care what your background is. This is like this shared collective experience that we're all so desperate for. And I saw that with us sharing the story about the guy, remind me of his name, Glenn, catching the ball and then giving it to the boy, and the boy giving it and having the dad. I mean, that video of ours was shared again so many times, and I get goosebumps thinking about it because it was like, here is the good that we're talking about that just collectively we all desperately want.
Baseball is a wholesome game. It's a family game also.
Yeah.
And I've been reflecting. I've been trying to figure out, like, what is it about the game that brings out these moments? Typically, in an average baseball game, each team throws about 150 pitches. All right, so you get about 300 total pitches in a game. And you really only get about 5 plays that can decide the game. You do it every day.
Yeah.
Also, in a 7-game series like this, you're talking about Friday, today. You're talking about what happened yesterday, today. We have another game coming up
I know.
today.
Hours away from that.
So it's constant,
Yeah.
and it's always happening. And the big knock on baseball in the regular season is that it's a slow game. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the intensity in a playoff game when it's slow is what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it's
builds.
tension. It's tension that's
Yeah. In football, it's aggression. It's let's go, it's fired up. In baseball, it's gut churning.
Yeah.
It is just so intense.
Well, looking back at this series, like, it's one for the ages, first of all, but baseball as a whole is just a very cinematic sport because it's very slow moving, as you mentioned, and you're waiting for those action points where everyone's going crazy and something big happens. But along the way, and this is why I think the Mariners are so good right now, you learn the characters of the players and like who they are and what they are like and like their quirks and like just their personalities. And I think that's one of the big reasons why this fan base has really been able to back them so well, because they're just a bunch of lovable guys, with Cal Raleigh, being the big leader of the pitchers. He's kind of just like this brash guy who, will say anything he wants. We know that. And then there's all these pitchers who've got all these personalities, with Munoz, who has a Persian cat at home, but he's on fire on the mound. And then Logan Gilbert, who's known as Walter on the mound, a different kind of Jekyll and Hyde personality. So a lot of different kinds of characteristics these guys have that really have been building this fan base on top of winning.
And if
obviously.
I can just add, a lot of these guys are also homegrown. So Cal, Julio, most of the pitching staff were brought up by this organization. So you saw them as rookies. And if you ever go to spring training, you saw them when they were wearing like 99 on the back of their jerseys in spring training.
Right.
So you saw these guys grow up. And now you're seeing them compete as a team.
And with Dan Wilson as the manager now.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Okay, I'll admit it, because when I see Dan Wilson get hired, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, how much 95 nostalgia can we possibly bank on with this team? You've got Edgar in the clubhouse, Dan Wilson there, Ichiro's hanging around. Now think about this. What if in the year 2040, the Seahawks head coach is Richard Sherman. Marshawn Lynch is coaching the running backs, right? Earl Thomas is coaching the safeties.
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor is coaching the linebackers. It would be like, and that team suddenly is in one game away from the Super Bowl. That is what that feeling is. It's beautiful nostalgia.
And I want to bring it back to Nick, because, seeing your face on that video, and like I said, that's been shared a ton of times, and we've just had so many reactions to it.
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
It was, you could obviously feel the stadium shaking, but in the moment, I was just years, just being when I was 6 years old in 2001, remembering when they, remembering when they won the ALDS, and just, I was just so happy for the fans and the players in that moment, because it was just built up for years in the making. And especially that game in particular, where it went 15 innings long. And after the 9th, it was every other half inning you felt like, oh, we're going to lose, we're going to win, we're going to lose. So it was just like the pure swing of emotions. And it was something that you never experienced. And it's something you don't get every year or even every decade.
Oh, okay. So we have another game today. And who's pitching?
Logan Gilbert. Now, he's going on short rest as well, just like Bryce Miller did yesterday. But you know what? You got
Maybe it works.
At most, what? How many games do you have left at most? 6 plus. So 13 at most games you're going to play. Who cares? You'll sleep when the season is over.
That's so true.
You're fine.
And I
And
know
these guys are in their
I know that we're
20s.
supposed to focus just game to game, because this is best
of 7.
Best of 7.
Yeah.
And then it's the... I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
You're saying you're superstitious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you guys have superstitions too, text us to let us know. I love what Mike in Seattle says. It's Edgar and Dan bringing the refuse to lose energy. It's our time.
Oh,
I love it. Let's keep it up. I think maybe even tomorrow or Wednesday, we're going to open up the phone lines, because we want to hear from you. Text us, though, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks, Nick. Okay, let's talk about this new development. This was a highly controversial topic. Clergy in Washington will be staying on the list of mandatory reporters for child abuse, sexual or otherwise, but there's going to be one big stipulation. The state attorney general's office has now backed off this plan that would have required clergy to report abuse, even if it was revealed during confession. And, you know, when we discussed it with when Gee was here, especially in the Catholic community, this was a big pushback because that would be a violation of one of their most sacred traditions, which is the seal of confession. And so a lawsuit challenged the expansion, saying that it crossed into religious freedom territory. And then it was just a couple of days ago that the state reached a deal. Prosecutors have agreed now not to enforce the rule for anything heard solely in confession. And Gene Hill with the Washington State Catholic Conference says preventing abuse and upholding the sacred seal of confession are not mutually exclusive. We can and must do both. And Attorney General Nick Brown calls the agreement a balance between protecting kids and respecting religious practice. What do you think?
I hate it. I don't like it. It looks like capitulation to me. I think perhaps the Attorney General's office is quite busy this year. I know that this particular law has been targeted by the Trump administration as well. I'm of the opinion that you get to have freedom of religion as far as it does not extend into infringing on someone else's or endanger them, right? In the same way that, you know, you see parents get prosecuted when, because of their religion, they refuse to provide any treatment for an eminently treatable cancer for their child, and that child is injured. I think as a member of the clergy, you have a sacred obligation to protect the safety of especially the most vulnerable kids, etc., more than you do to protect the sanctity of confession. Mm-hmm. I'm not a biblical scholar. I don't know why they're going to the mat on this. The only reason it makes sense is as a priest, if I'm required to, perhaps someone won't tell me, and that will endanger their immortal soul.
Mm. Yeah, Christopher in Mount Lake Terrace says, protect kids at all costs. Here's the thing for me I'm looking at is that I think, I actually agree with the AG that maybe this is a balance. There's this, because you're still protecting kids. And I think I tried to look into it, and in practice, there's very little evidence that priests in Washington have been tipping authorities based purely on confession. So I think it was almost more of a theoretical versus an actual problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like more forward thinking. Not that there's anything wrong with forward thinking, but the Catholic Church has basically said, you're basically forcing us into an impossible bind. Either we're going to break these sacred vows or face civil penalties or criminal liability. And they said, we're going to be willing to go to jail. So I think that this might be It
might have been more of an overblown problem.
Yes,
but it's
exactly.
it's a horrible optic. It's a horrible optic for the Catholic Church to be fighting any effort that looks like it's aimed at protecting children from abuse.
Right.
You know,
and,
even
and
if it's not at the hands of.
And I exactly. And I think, and when we talked about it earlier, I was like, yeah, this is the part of me as a Catholic that feels like the safety of the child is paramount to anything else.
You know, I suppose it's worth making the point that the people who are most likely to know about abuse happening, it's not necessarily the teacher or the nurse or the clergy or any of the other mandatory reporters. It is people within the family that are most likely to know.
This is true.
And the people that are most likely to keep it covered up because, you know, dad needs his income in order for the family. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Well, I'd love to hear from all of you. Some of you are weighing in already. Again, do you think that this was a good compromise, or do you think it was capitulation, as Chef says? Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Okay, we're going to completely switch gears coming up at 10:30 because we're going to be talking about how far would you go to try to find the love of your life. There is a woman in the Bay Area who went big and bold, and we're going to see what you think about that. That's coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
"Why don't you get your kid off the phone?"
You could do that now. No, I'm not there yet. Getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
GLP-1 weight loss medications are powerful, but without medical oversight, they can also be risky. At Longevity Medical Clinics, we don't believe in shortcuts. We believe in real medicine, real monitoring, and real results. Our GLP-1 weight loss program is personalized to your biology with lab work, ongoing adjustments, and medical professionals guiding you every step of the way. Here's the truth. These medications can suppress appetite and help you lose weight. But if no one is monitoring your heart, your blood sugar, or your overall health, you could be putting your body at risk. That's why we test, track, and fine-tune so your results are safe and sustainable. If you're serious about losing weight and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. We combine the power of modern medicine with the confidence of medical oversight so you can focus on feeling better, stronger, and healthier. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk, leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win. You lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Save 30% on select perennials now at Sky Nursery.
I'm Jen, the greenhouse manager at Sky Nursery. For gardeners in the Pacific Northwest, fall is like a second spring. It's a great time to plant. You have so many options that will look gorgeous now and set you up beautifully for next year's springtime garden. Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store, no matter the time of year.
Save 30% on select perennials while supplies last. More savings and details at skynursery.com.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
CBS News special report. President Trump is in Egypt with world leaders hailing a peace plan for Gaza.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East. And it's a very simple expression, peace in the Middle East. And we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there. And now we're there.
CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports amid the celebrations, there is still a lot of worry.
We're at a very, very difficult and dangerous stage. There's euphoria today in Egypt and Israel, but really the hard part is just starting.
That includes Israel's withdrawal from Gaza and the disarming of Hamas. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
Some very basic elements of this peace plan that still need to be worked out, and they'll start to do it at this summit here in Sharm el-Sheikh.
President Trump said rebuilding Gaza could be the easy part. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
And I'm Aaron Granillo. World leaders are still mapping out next steps to create lasting peace in the region. Washington Representative Adam Smith tells Seattle's Morning News.
It's been a long, devastating war, so getting it over with is a huge positive. It should have happened a lot sooner than it did. And, of course, the next key question is what comes next.
The original peace plan calls for Hamas to lay down its weapons and have a new Palestinian government take control in Gaza. Here in Seattle, renters are on the move. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi explains.
A new Rent Cafe study finds that nearly half switch apartments within 2 years. It's not just because rent is going up. The city's booming housing supply and influx of tech workers from companies like Amazon and Microsoft are keeping the turnover high. Not to mention record home prices mean more people are renting longer, and they're looking for better deals. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle Mariners are back at it in Toronto after beating the Blue Jays in Game 1 of the Championship Series. First pitch today at 2:03 on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Now to the real-time traffic desk. We start in the South Sound in Olympia. Construction has the right lane of southbound I-5 closed, approaching the 101 exit in Tumwater. Got to slow down right around Lacey is where that slowdown starts. Other than that, though, the map is actually in very good shape right now. Linwood to Seattle, you are cruising into downtown Seattle. Same from the south end. It is all clear from South Center into downtown. Just a little slowdown once you reach the West Seattle Bridge. S-curves through Renton, they are starting to thin out as well. About a 20 to 25-minute drive from Renton to Bellevue. Lake bridges are wide open, and Renton to Puyallup, that's about a 30-minute drive as well. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly clear skies today. Lots of sunshine on the chillier side, though, with highs in the low to mid-50s. Right now, 48 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today and tomorrow. Chef is in. And, okay, we've heard the dating scene these days is rough, but how far would you go, let's say if you were single, to find the love of your life? And we bring this up because there's a woman in the Bay Area, Lisa Catalano, who has gone big, literally. She is actually advertising for her future husband on billboards, 6 of them along Highway 101 from the South Bay all the way to San Francisco. And each one points to her website, marylisa.com, where you can apply, and it's part dating profile, part job posting for the position of husband. She says she got tired of Silicon Valley's dating scene, and what started as a joke turned into this full-time project. And so she is screening potential suitors for compatibility, whether it comes to religion or politics, to lifestyle and future plans.
Looking for somebody who would be compatible with me on things like religious views, politics, healthy lifestyle, and someone who's ready to get married and have kids in the future.
And she's not just relying on the billboards either. She's got flyers, business cards, TikToks, and her phone hasn't stopped buzzing since her story went viral. And she tells ABC7, no, this is not a joke.
And if your future husband is watching right now, what do you want to say to him? I'm real. This entire project is real. I am serious about finding the love of my life.
Okay, I just need to ask the single dudes. Okay, and none of us is single here. Well, wait a minute. Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, if someone is advertising on a billboard, is that intimidating?
I think it's a little, obvious, and it's just, it's not subtle enough, and it kind of just, like, ruins the mood. In terms of, like, aspirations, I guess.
But I keep hearing from folks who are in the dating scene, and they say it's rough. Unless you're going to do the dating apps.
Yeah, this is what radical honesty.
Yeah.
The thing is, people don't want radical honesty in dating, right? If I think she's late 30s, so I assume the clock is ticking. I don't know if that's an offensive thing to say or not, but
that's just a reality.
It's a reality, and unfortunately for women, like, you do have to be a lot more serious about who you screen out of your dating potential, and you have to be upfront and honest about it. But when someone's putting up billboards, marry me, I want to have kids, that is like a giant blinking red flag to me. Like, your desk must be very organized, Lisa, because she's very clearly a planner. Like, she's got a ton of dough.
Money.
Yeah, but it's like, it strikes me like she's almost looking for an arranged marriage, right? As long as you fit the categories and we can make some kind of a spark happen for us, bada boom, let's make it happen.
I just would worry that people would not take her seriously. It would have to be someone who also has a big ego and wants that notoriety of, hey, I'm the one who won out this woman who took out these billboards. I just feel like you would have a lot of jokers.
Probably.
That you'd have to weed through.
Probably a little catfishing too, I would assume. Some guys who are just in it for the thrill ride.
Then again, Matthew says, if I were younger, I would apply. And Max in the 425 says, the harder you try to find a partner, the worse fit it will be. Romance is not programmable. Do you agree with that? So you kind of in your head know what it is you're looking for.
So culturally that is true here in the United States. But marriage is different all over the world. Arranged marriages work out for a lot of couples. Some of that is cultural because of the stigma against divorce.
Yeah.
But our expectation that we fall head over heels with someone like a bolt of lightning, I think is a little bit unrealistic because you do have to put time and effort in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as a guy, and Nick, you know this, man, like when I was on the dating apps, it was like a sales funnel. Right? I'm going to have 500 potential contacts.
500?
I'm going to reach out to, 200 of them. Out of 200, I'm going to get a reply rate of maybe 8 to 10%. So maybe 18 people out of those 200. Amongst those conversations,
wait.
maybe
What app
maybe
were you
4
using?
What?
What app were you using?
Oh, I was using a couple. It was like Match. I wasn't on Tinder. Some other ones. And, maybe you get 4 dates out of that.
Okay.
But like it is significant weaning through people.
Yeah.
But you have to put yourself out there if you want to find someone that clicks with you.
Yeah, Jane Lacey says, if I had to go to the level of what this lady's doing, I would just stay single.
Not to mention the fact, don't we judge women who like try too hard in the dating arena? Because like guys
why don't we have the same judgment for men who try too hard? I think they do.
Because women hold the keys, right? I mean, who initiates contact? Who asks the majority of people out on dates? It's always men. Mary Lisa is like, come get me. And I don't know. I think a lot of guys would see that as too forward for some reason.
Okay, well, here's another reality in the dating world. So imagine you finally meet someone that you've been talking to for weeks, and these conversations before you meet, they've been really deep. You thought, man, this person really has a gift with language and words. You've shared your childhood stories, and then you sit down in person, and they are just flat as a pancake. They are boring. And you're like, well, where did this person go that I was conversing with? And you find out, and this has happened, you find out the person on the other line, on the other side, was getting help from ChatGPT.
Oh, getting chatfish.
Yes, it's called
Catfishing.
catfishing. So like catfishing, but with AI.
I don't think that's a huge problem. Like, I don't know. This is why you should actually talk to people in person, because you get them, even without ChatGPT. I feel like IMs are very misleading in terms of who you're actually dealing with, because you can be much funnier or much stupider.
Yeah.
On
but
message.
ChatGPT puts it at a whole nother level, because I have conversed with somebody who I thought, man, this person is brilliant. And then they confess, oh, I've actually been using ChatGPT. This is, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, there is a big difference.
Okay. So here's the deal. You have to, getting someone to go out on a date with you.
Yeah.
That is not closing the sale. That is getting someone in the door, right? So if you can get someone in the door with the ChatGPT, and let's be clear, both women and men are doing it.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Great. You see if you click in person. That's the way it always works. If it ups your success rate, fine. And if you find yourself receiving all these flowery messages, you'll know where they came from.
Apparently people are doing things like, give me a meaningful question to ask, or what would be a great, instead of using those old pickup lines, like what would be a great line to use?
That's fantastic. Most people are not good at conversation, myself included.
So you think this is the modern version of putting your best foot forward?
Yeah, you get a dating buddy. It's like a wingman.
Mike in Portland says there's a new movie out on Netflix called All of Me about dating approximately 10 years in the future. And he says, I highly recommend it. Okay, still ahead, we do scenarios when we solve other people's problems. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work?
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah?
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So, I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
I have truly been blessed with a long career and a family I just adore. And as I look ahead, I don't want to only have a comfortable retirement. I want to be able to leave a legacy. And Trajan Wealth makes that possible. Alongside financial planning, they offer estate services, helping with wills, living trusts, and strategies to reduce taxes and avoid probate. That way, the people I love won't be left with all the red tape and stress when I'm gone. That will truly be a gift in my heart. And Trajan Wealth will make it easy by coordinating it all under one roof. If you've ever wondered what legacy that you can leave, Trajan can help you make a plan that reflects your values and protects your family. To find out how they can help you, call Trajan Wealth today at 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300, or go to TrajanWealth.com. That's Trajan, spelled Trajan. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show at 10:47. It's time for us to do scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
It's from Slate this morning. Hello, my youngest son, Ken, is getting married to a lovely woman, Marie, in the spring, and I am thrilled. The problem is my husband. Marie comes from a family of only girls. She has 3 sisters. Her uncle has 2 girls. And her dad and her grandmother were rather depressed about their family name not being carried on. And yes, I know how dumb that is. Ken decided that he would take Marie's last name to honor her family's legacy. Marie's dad and grandfather are elated, but my husband is not. I've tried to explain to him that this is Ken's choice. Plus, we have 2 other sons who do carry our last name, but he's still whining about it and even derisively referring to Ken as Mr. Fiance's last name. What can I do to get him to shut his trap and be happy for our son, Ursula?
Ignore him. I think that she's right, that it is up to him. The son has decided that. If you told me, I would understand the father's position a little bit more if this was the only son and that would be the end. And for some people that is dumb, but for some people that's really important. I get it. My husband is an only child. My father-in-law is only child.
Mm-hmm.
So our 2 sons are, I mean, if they don't have kids, they,
your line shall go extinct.
Exactly. So I understand the importance. Would I be heartbroken and be, devastated if they decided, hey, we're going to go with my future wife's name? No.
Both of them?
Maybe. That would be.
See?
Yes. No. I mean, being realistic, I'd be like, oh, that's too bad, because that would be the end of the line. But I think this dad whining already, I think the mom's right. And I think maybe the more energy you give his complaints, you've heard him. I understand. These are adults. They're making that decision. You can't do anything about it. Be done with it.
I think that most of us theoretically think that we'd be totally okay with it, but in practice would probably be less than thrilled.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. But it's such a strange social convention. I remember when Gabby and I got married, and she's like, "Oh, I have to change my Social Security card. I got to go get a new driver's license." And I don't know if you've ever tried to look up someone that, say, you went to high school with or college with, who's a woman and they've been married, and you literally can't find the person anymore, like online, because they don't have the same last name. It is a form of disappearing. And to erase your own family name is like, if Gabby had asked me that, I don't know what I would have said.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I would have said. If it was a deal breaker, I probably would have said, okay,
right,
regretfully, but like, why are we still doing it this way?
Well, I think you're exactly right, and I think it's tradition. It's the idea of having that family name continue. Now, I will admit something. I did legally change my name. And I love my husband very much. We've been married for now 32 years. But I kind of regret that I did that.
Really?
Because my maiden name is what I use on the air. I have had this name now in our community for close to 40 years.
Yeah.
Let's just say if I were to run for office, which I have no plans of, but let's just say if I were to run under my legal name, they'd
be like, who? Yeah.
Right? I mean, and some people would still say who, even if with my on-air name. But again, I mean, there's more cachet to the name that I use on the air. Right? I mean, and so there's a part of me that was like, oh, I should have thought about that.
Other people who use their married name professionally.
Yes.
They make their name as that, and then the marriage doesn't work out. And it's the opposite problem. Like, I have to keep my married name now because that's my professional name.
Well, my sister has decided to keep her married name. She's now remarried, but she's keeping her
old married name?
Yeah. I was like, Mom, I don't want to change everything at this point again. And so, I get it. I mean, I think there's also a lot of pride that goes with your last name, right?
Sometimes it depends on your last name. I mean, like Nick, you have a really cool last name, Krasia.
It's unique, yeah. And a lot of people get it wrong.
I love your last name. It's awesome.
A lot of people get it wrong at first. It's tough. But for me, this is very surface level with the grief given. The thoughts, it should be about how happy you are with the girls finding love and getting married. I feel like you've got a little bit of an ego if you're that worried about a name being carried on, but very generous of the dude if he's willing to give up the family name for her. Must be quite the catch if you're willing to put that aside.
Whoa, she's a lady.
But I wish they'd come together and decide not to satisfy the petting complaints of the last name. What are we, in the 3rd grade? I think we just got to let it go. Keep the name. It's fine.
360 says when people get married, they should take the woman's last name because that's the actual bloodline, not the male. It's the female that carries forward the lineage.
Oh, see, yeah, we got it wrong. Biologically, yeah. How about this? What's your feeling of hyphenated names?
It works in other countries. Like in Mexico, you take I think you take your father's last name and then your mother's maiden name is the second part of the hyphenated name. But
As a
then also,
I'm just going to tell you right now.
You don't like it?
Oh my gosh, no. I mean, it just makes it that much longer.
Yeah.
It is an inconvenience for everyone, I would say.
Well, and also you immediately become an initialism, right? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is MTG, APR is Angela Poe Russell.
Right.
You become like initials when you hyphenate.
True.
And Angela, I'm sorry for putting your name in that sentence alongside.
But on the other hand, I understand too, this is a compromise. This is a way to have both of it. So I guess maybe what's that?
Compromise. It seems like the
Something
most reasonable solution.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, again, the only reason I have the feeling I do is because when you have to read these names and they're all these hyphenated names, when you're in our business, it's like, oh man.
Yes.
I guess I need to get over that. Okay, still ahead, we're going to share some of your stories. A lot of you have been sharing your stories about why this run that the Seattle Mariners are on, why it is so special right now. If you haven't weighed in yet, text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We think we may have found one of the biggest Mariners fans locally, and maybe you've got one story that you can top. We're going to hear from her coming up, we believe.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
That sensation we're all feeling right now?
It's the playoffs, man.
That's playoff fever.
Mariners are good. They're going to win at home, and then we all won.
Yes. They're the talk of the town.
So excited, I can hardly stand it.
KIRO News Radio has all the Mariners buzz.
Some of us even ate dirt.
Some of us
try
did.
to sway the outcome.
And our partner Seattle Sports has the games.
A winning solution. Hearing Rick call
You're gonna wanna hear
home
Rick.
run. You talk about a no-doubter.
Listen free on the Seattle Sports app. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump gathered with world leaders in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt today and declared peace in the Middle East after his peace plan for Gaza.
After years of suffering and bloodshed, the war in Gaza is over. Humanitarian aid is now pouring in, including hundreds of truckloads of food and medical equipment and other supplies, much of it paid for by people in this room. Civilians are returning to their homes. The hostages are reuniting. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm just watching it backstage. The level of love and sorrow, I've never seen anything like it.
In Jerusalem, reporter Robert Berger with more on what's ahead and how difficult it will be after what's happened.
It's caused deep wounds. For instance, Israelis are very skeptical about the possibility of peace with the Palestinians. We have a ceasefire. President Trump was talking about peace. I think Israelis are skeptical about peace. And then, of course, on the Palestinian side, you have over 65,000 people killed, the territory in Gaza totally destroyed. You're going to have animosity from the families of all the people who have been killed. So it's going to be very difficult to heal these wounds.
A nor'easter continues pounding much of the East Coast. Lisa Conte lives in Broadkill Beach, Delaware.
I'm hoping it doesn't take a whole lot of our beach. That's my main concern.
Winds in some areas have topped 60 miles per hour. The government shutdown continues and more programs are being cut. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
I know that HHS, for example, has cut some programs, but they were effectively all agencies in a triage situation.
California's governor has signed legislation aimed at protecting children from the potential dangers of AI chatbots. It requires platforms to remind users that they are not interacting with a human. A new study finds a link between social media use and lower grades. Study author Jason Nagata.
Even low levels of social media use were linked to poorer cognitive outcomes. So even those who had just had an hour of use a day still performed lower on reading and memory tasks.
With economic uncertainty still weighing on businesses, holiday hiring could take a hit this year, as Jim Ursula reports.
Tariffs and other economic factors are prompting retailers to pull back or even delay plans to hire workers for the upcoming Christmas shopping season. One job placement firm predicts that hiring for the last 3 months of the year will likely fall to its lowest level since the 2009 recession.
Checking the numbers on Wall Street, stocks are higher this hour. The Dow up nearly 600. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gearing up for the Mariners Game 2 in Toronto, but first to go to the real-time traffic desk. The support is brought to you by Seattle Sports. We start near Federal Way on I-5 northbound. This is at 272nd Street. An incident blocking the right lane and also the right center lane. Looking at about a 2-mile backup starting in the Federal Way area. In Olympia, construction has the right lane of southbound 5 closed, approaching the 101 exit in Tumwater. Little slow going there back to Lacey. And also on I-5 northbound, just south of 599 in Tukwila, had an incident blocking the right lane. The rest of the map in good shape. Lake bridges are wide open and nothing major slowing you down into Seattle or Bellevue at this time. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Aaron Granillo. The Seattle Mariners look to keep the good vibes going in Toronto.
And they take the opening game of this best-of-7 American League Championship Series.
Logan Gilbert takes the mound today for the Mariners, looking to make it a 2-0 series lead.
Basically just asked me if I was good to go, and of course I said yeah right away.
Gilbert is going on short rest after pitching in that epic 15-inning win on Friday night. Today's first pitch is at 2:03. The official watch party's at Victory Hall. It's across the street from T-Mobile Park. SeaTac Airport is refusing to show a video from Homeland Security that blames Democrats for the government shutdown. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
In the video that began airing at airports nationwide last Thursday, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem opens with a non-political message.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel.
She then takes a political turn.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted.
The government shutdown is now in its 9th day, with hope of a resolution this Friday. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A shelter-in-place order has been lifted after an ammonia leak at a frozen fish facility in Burlington. Crews traced the chemical odor to a refrigeration unit. No injuries reported. Company Scholar says it's investigating the cause, monitoring air quality, and will not resume operations until it's safe. Seahawks improved to 4-2 after a big road win in Jacksonville. Another big day for wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Touchdown, Seahawks! A spike in the end zone and a 61-yard rocket to number 11. JSN.
Smith-Njigba now leads the NFL in receiving. The Hawks improve to 4-2 and move into first place, tie in the NFC West with the 49ers. Weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Clear skies today, lots of sunshine, but highs only topping out in around the mid-50s. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning. Happy Monday to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Chef is weighing in on all our topics, and so are all of you. Y'all been busy texting us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Coming up at 11:30, we do agree to disagree. Now, check this out. Lay's, the company that makes potato chips, is going to have to do a major rebrand because of a disturbing finding. Nearly 40 or more than 40% of consumers didn't know this. What do you think that is? Okay, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Why would they have to do a rebranding at this juncture? We'll have some fun with that when we agree to disagree. But right now,
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
As we've been telling you, our Seattle Mariners are in it to win it. They refuse to lose, and they proved that yesterday and on Friday night. Remember this? What were you doing when this happened?
Here we go the stretch. Kenley has got to throw a strike. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung out, line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. The Mariners win the battle in Seattle in 15 innings. The Mariners win it 3-2.
Okay, we've been seeing a lot of you telling us that you're still recovering from that game and you've entirely lost your voice. But I know someone who hasn't lost her voice. She may be one of the biggest M's fans, and we've asked her to join us on the show right now. Her name is Crystalline Burke. Good morning, Crystalline.
Hello. Hi. Boy, I just got goosebumps all over again listening to that call. That was amazing.
Okay, so tell me, because you reached out to us, and I loved your story, and you were just sharing all the reasons why you might be one of the biggest M's fans. So I'm giving you the floor right now. Tell us why.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I grew up really being inspired by my grandparents. My grandma, Marion, was probably a bigger Mariners fan than me. If she wasn't watching a live game, then she was watching one that she had recorded on her DVR. She wore a Refuse to Lose shirt well into her 90s that eventually got a little big on her, and she would tuck it into her pants, and it eventually it would just say refuse. Yeah, and
that works.
I mean, that was my grandma. But their answering machine was in the 90s. We can't make it to the Mariners game, or we can't make it to the phone because we're at the Mariners game. Leave us a message. So I grew up with just this amazing love of the Mariners. And my grandma passed away a little over a year ago, and she had this visor that she wore for Mariners games, and I took it with me to the game on Friday. And I'm going to cry, but her favorite song, I asked her a couple years ago, was, Grandma, what's your favorite song? And she said, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And so during the 7th and the 14th inning stretch, I took that cap out, I just held it to my heart and just sang that song for her, and I felt her there. And I stood the entire 15 innings, clapped until my fingers bled, and just lost my mind. It was incredible, and I saw so many amazing friends at that game. I bring the hype with me. I get people up on their feet, and I just love the Mariners.
You know, Crystalline, you're talking about your grandparents and how they introduced you to baseball. And it strikes me that for a lot of people, sports can be a way of family connection. You know, I remember growing up with my dad. He'd take us down to the Kingdom. I remember being a little kid and being kind of scared in downtown Seattle because there were homeless people back then too, believe it or not. Still remember Tuba Man playing outside in the Kingdom. What kind of memories do you have that are special to you with your grandparents?
Well, yeah. So my grandma was an amazing cook, and she would pack these ginormous picnic lunches, and we'd eat in the Kingdom. And I was also with her and my aunt, who's an Angels fan, at the 95 Angels-Mariners game when we won and everybody ran onto the field. I remember, falling asleep on the couch watching Mariners games and falling asleep in the car listening to Dave Niehaus call the games. And when I was home on maternity leave with my kids, I went over to my grandma's house and watched games with her. With my babies in their little Mariners outfits. But my grandma her saying was go for it, her and my grandpa. And every card that they signed was go for it. And that's just what I feel this year is go for it.
Now, it's been a while. It's been a minute since the M's have been in this position. What kept you believing in this team for all those years?
There's just magic, and I don't know what it is about this season. I'm normally so nervous, I get butterflies, I can't eat before playoff games. This year, I'm so relaxed, and I just feel it. And I even didn't wear my normal game day shoes to the game on Friday. And my friend who met me was like, "What are you doing? You're not wearing your shoes." I was like, "It's okay, we got this." Just the team, their energy. We brought Gino back. Jorge has just been incredible. Everyone is stepping up, and it's not a single person team. It's everybody. It's Dan Wilson and Edgar in the dugout coaching, and I mean those are my players, right, from '95.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is it.
All right. So this has obviously been kind of a family legacy for you. How old are your kids now?
9 and 7.
9 and 7. Okay, so are they on board for the ride with this, or is this like this is mom's crazy thing that she's constantly paying attention to? Are they on board with you?
Oh, well, my husband, don't say this too loud, but he's a Twins fan, and so my son is also a little bit of a Twins fan, but my daughter is all in, and my son, they probably think I'm a little bit crazy with my cheering at home, but no, they're on board. They're all in.
Okay, so let's say they're going to be playing again today. Now, are you going to be satisfied with this season no matter what, or is this like it's got to be the World Series?
I mean, as a Mariners fan, I'm true to the blue season after season. But for right now, like, let's go all the way. Might as well, right?
Okay, confession time, and this might be heresy, but I have to admit I'm actually a little bit concerned that they might win the whole thing.
Concerned?
I'm a little bit concerned. And here's why. Because I remember after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, being a fan was never the same because the bar was Super Bowl now, right? And I never had that feeling like we were coming from behind. Like I had to pay attention to everything because it was like, I've been there before. Do you worry about becoming jaded that maybe this team is just too good?
Oh, no.
Oh, man. No, I remember with the Seahawks, like when they threw the ball instead of giving it to Marshawn, like I had skills in my mouth and I spit them out. It was like, what? But my love for the Seahawks didn't die. And I'm a stronger Mariners fan than Seahawks. I love my Seahawks, but Mariners have my heart. And so every season I'll be in.
Okay, and I just have one other question for you because I've been asking this, and I just feel like there's something different. It's not just because it's been a long time and it is this team, but I feel like this moment in time, there's something really special about all of us coming together to cheer on this team at this juncture. What do you think?
When we headed to Detroit, I said we're going to split these two games. We have to win at home. And I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. And I headed down to the game super early on Friday, and I was by myself because my friend was meeting me. And I ran into my best friend's brother-in-law. I ran into my PE teacher from 1990, who I remember him talking about 1995 Mariners tickets, Mr. McEldowney. I ran into a secretary that I worked with, and it was like a homecoming. And it was like, guys, this is it, and there's just something special.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really fun chatting with you. And Crystal Lynn, I think this is going to be the year. I think, and just hearing your energy, I think you've made me a true believer too.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, and if I could say this, I spoke with many people at the stadium and showed them my grandma's fan, and I got them saying, like, poor grandma, like, by the end of my conversation with them. So this is for grandma. Let's do it.
And if she were, well, I say she's watching. What do you think she's thinking right now?
Oh, she's got the best seats in the house, and she's just saying, go for it. That's what she's doing.
Love it. Yeah. Crystal Lynn, thank you so much for sharing your love for the team, and I'm sure we'll hear from you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh,
that was refreshing. That was so refreshing.
I love it. Okay, we want to hear from you. If you think, if you have a story that's similar to Crystal Lynn's, or you just think you are the number one Mariners fan, we are just going to invite a lot of you on to the show this week. So we want to hear more of your stories. Make your case. Pitch to us. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Because you know what? I think we're going to be talking about the Mariners. Well, let's see.
At least for a week.
At least for a week.
At least this week.
Come on.
Maybe next week,
right?
If we have some luck on our side.
Exactly. Well, if they just continue to do what they're doing. Okay, let's talk about something in Portland. Portland's making the news a lot. But justice in Portland has gone from trial by jury to trial by soda. So we're talking about this felony car theft case that ended not with a gavel, but with a Baja Blast. This is a story from Oregon Live. They say that Peter Higginbotham's 1996 Toyota Camry was stolen off of Portland Street last year. I mean, this car is old. It was valued at just a couple $100, but it was his, and he was not happy when police found it later hot-wired and abandoned. But instead of demanding jail time, he decided to, okay, well, maybe not everyone agrees, take the high road and the drive-through, and he agreed to drop the felony case after striking a deal with a suspect. 1 can of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. So this is actually a thing. You were asking me if I knew about it. I've heard it used, but very rarely. It's a civil compromise when a victim and a defendant work out their own peace, their own resolution outside of the court. And the Oregonian reports the two shook hands, they cracked open the can, and just like that, the case went flat, you might say.
This is fascinating.
This is fascinating, but I'm not sure I'm on board.
I mean, I'm not on board with this one. I get the feeling that this guy probably has a little bit of money, but he drives a clunker. He had been driving a clunker. He said it was basically worth a can of Mountain Dew, which is why they came to this settlement. But how many conversations do we have about suing people, and filing lawsuits? How many conversations do we have about what justice looks like?
Yeah.
And I don't think that the vast majority of people who go through either the criminal or civil system end up feeling satisfied as victims.
Well,
and
part of it is because it's so lengthy. A lot of times it costs a lot of money.
Exactly. Like, let's be honest. If Ursula, if I am a 25-year-old kid and I crash into your car, right? We can go through the insurance route. You can pursue civil claims, and most people let the insurance handle it. But like, what if you and I sit down and I apologize, I take full responsibility,
and you pay for it?
You know what? This is what I can pay you now, and then I'll continue paying you. I just wonder.
I mean, that takes a lot of trust, and I will say
Sure.
that. Remember when someone bumped me and I found out the kid did not have insurance? People were so hacked off.
Yes.
That I didn't just go for it, and that I gave him a chance to try to pay for it, and then I ended up reporting it to my insurance. I initially thought, hey, if they're willing to pay me, fine. But then the dad was like in denial, and I was like, nope, I'm just going to report it, do the state patrol report, all that stuff, because you need to have some trust in the person across from you that they're going to do the right thing.
Sure.
And the issue that I have in a case like this, like, yeah, you might not think your car was worth a whole lot, but it was a felony case. And what about other cars? I mean, what if he could do it to this one? Like, there's no punishment.
Yeah, but I mean, like, court systems are a relatively new phenomenon, socially speaking, in society. How many victims actually talk to the person that harmed them in some way? And I get, like, you don't want to be re-traumatized as a victim of a violent crime by having some conversation, but there's also zero reconciliation in our society. Isn't that more satisfying, or wouldn't that be more satisfying if you actually came to a solution with somebody?
But that takes two very disciplined people, right? And do we have that kind of, I mean, again,
social trust?
Yes, exactly.
These days?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying that I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, that's like usually me with the rose-colored glasses. Like, oh, why can't we just sit down?
You know what? You're more pragmatic when it comes to criminal justice. That's for sure.
This is true. This is true. Might be because I'm married to a prosecuting attorney. Okay, let's squeeze one more thing, because do y'all do family dinners?
Try to.
Yeah, we tried. I love the concept of family dinner, but just realistically, it didn't work. When you have kids in sports and all sorts of other things, people working, etc. So a writer for the New York Times says after 18 years of cooking and gathering around the table every night, she just stopped. No big family fight, no burnout meltdown. She simply decided she was done with dinner. So she writes that she realized the nightly ritual had become more of a burden than a bonding moment, and she loved the idea of family dinner. Like I said, the candles, the napkins, the memories, but not the endless planning, cooking, and cleaning that came with it. Well, she should have had help. So she quietly quit dinner, and these days her family just grazes on cereal, takeout, cheese, and crackers, whatever's easy. And instead of connecting over the meals, they now connect over reruns of Gilmore Girls and Parks and Rec.
I love it.
TV shows.
I love it.
Yeah. Do we put? See,
there are all kinds of things
studies
as parents,
that,
right?
But there are studies that show that family dinners are huge and so important in a way to make sure that you stay connected.
I don't buy it. Like, okay, when the studies that say, hey, families who share family dinner are more likely to have kids who graduate high school, etc., or whatever. They have more social. Well, it could be that the families who have a good connection to begin with, and the means to be able to have time to share together as a family, as opposed to mom working the swing shift and dad working, days. That might be the reason. And I think there's so many things that, as parents, we feel judged by society if we can't do. Like,
I felt like I was a failure with that. Like,
really?
Because I remember, and there were years I was news director, and I didn't get home till, I told you, I didn't get home till late. That's my biggest regret. Where my son said he would wait for the headlights of the car to come in and just be so excited. It would be like 8 o'clock at night.
We were having a conversation earlier about childcare costs. And someone wrote in and said, because of that, my husband works completely opposite shifts for me. And I guess I would tell that listener and anyone who has a non-traditional way of raising your kids, like, kids are resilient.
They are.
They'll be
this
fine.
Is true.
The most important thing is they know you love them. Right?
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, even to this day, my 29-year-old was watching the game with us last night, and he said, some people might think it's weird that I spend a lot of time with you guys. I'm like, no, I don't think it's weird. I love that my adult sons feel like they can come home and hang out.
MarySteven.com.
Oh, by the way, I'm not going to share this, but I tried matchmaking, and I think my matchmaking days are over. But anyway.
You have to share that sometime.
Yeah, not today. Okay, still ahead, we do Agree to Disagree. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
Is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Cancer impacts us all, and my family is no different. Mario Bailey here, former Washington Husky wide receiver. I learned firsthand what it's like to have family with the disease after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute at UW-Medicine is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients undergoing these treatments have seen remarkable results with extended remissions and improved quality of life. And I'm thrilled to say patients who received cancer vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Donations to this institute are crucial in advancing this life-saving work. They fund vital research and clinical trials, ensuring that more lives are touched by hope and healing. I'm excited to share that Safeway is making it easy to donate on your next trip to get groceries. Please join me. Simply stop by any Safeway store, donate, and help ignite the immune system to end cancer. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
Buy more, save more at Dania Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in our showroom. It's the perfect way to complete your look for less or splurge on your dream piece for your living room, dining room, outdoor space, home office, or bedroom. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
If you use the SR 167 Express toll lanes after October 20th without a Good2Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good2Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at good2go167.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
CBS News special report. President Trump in Egypt today declared peace in the Middle East.
This is the day that people across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for.
But there is a lot ahead in Gaza.
The rebuilding is maybe going to be the easiest part. I think we've done a lot of the hardest part because the rest comes together. We all know how to rebuild, and we know how to build better than anybody in the world.
Hostages were released by Hamas today and Palestinians freed by Israel. Reporter Robert Berger says a peaceful future could still seem like a long shot.
Over 65,000 people killed, the territory in Gaza totally destroyed. You're going to have animosity from the families of all the people who have been killed. So it's going to be very difficult to heal these wounds.
CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
And I'm Aaron Granillo. And of course, with today's peace deal, many questions also remain about the future of governance in Gaza. Washington U.S. Representative Adam Smith tells Seattle's Morning News.
Hamas is at a very low point. They have to be kept down and out.
The original peace deal brokered by the U.S. calls for a new Palestinian committee to rule Gaza, not Hamas. It also calls for Hamas to lay down its arms. It is day 13 of the government shutdown. Both houses of Congress remain in recess today. No votes House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We will return to legislative session as soon as the Democrats come to their senses and open the government.
The Democrats say they are not going to vote on a partisan spending bill. Seattle Mariners turning their focus now to Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. They stole home field from Toronto last night.
This is gonna go! It is gone! Cal Raleigh! Oh, Canada!
Cal Raleigh. Logan Gilbert takes the mound today for the M's. First pitch is at 2:03. Listen on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 11:33. Here's Lori.
And Aaron, I'm surprised you're not in Toronto.
That's an expensive ticket that way.
Traffic is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, northbound 5 at 272nd and Federal Way. That accident cleared. Not even really seeing much of a slowdown. Westbound 18 after Issaquah Hobart Road, look out for a collision. That one's in the left lane. A little bit of an eastbound slowdown coming off the West Seattle Bridge onto I-5, Everett to Marysville, a speed limit drive right now. US 2 jams up right at 522, and Seattle to Federal Way, 1 minute delay. Seattle to Everett is a 26-minute drive. If you're heading from Bellevue to Linwood, an easy 16-minute drive. And a little bit of a backup still, as Aaron mentioned earlier, approaching State Route 101 on southbound I-5. We are seeing that usual 167 slowdown at Pacific. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly clear skies today. Good amount of sunshine out there with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:34 on this Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today and tomorrow. Chef is in, and it's time for us to agree to disagree, which is brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Here's a story that might chip away at your faith in humanity. Lay's, the potato chip brand, found out that a stunning 42% of consumers did not know that their chips were made from actual potatoes. Lay's potato chips, I remind you folks. So now Pepsi, which owns Lay's, is going to go back to basics with a full rebrand. They're going to put out new bags, which are matte and wood-colored texture to look like a potato crate. They'll slap a big photo of a potato right on the front just to clear up the confusion. The slogan, made with real potatoes. Ursula, are Americans really this, I'll just say, are Americans really
ignorant?
this dumb? I was going to say ignorant, but honestly, dumb is more appropriate.
Well, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that when they took this survey, they're probably not really even paying attention. I was thinking, are Pringles actually made of potatoes? Because you know how Pringles are shaped, and
right.
they're just that's
it's
just
some
not
kind
real.
Of paste.
It is a paste. It's dehydrated potato flakes. So there's potato in there. But after you do all the machinations, is it still actually potato? So I'm just going to give them grace on that one. I like to think that they're not that dumb, but I think this is a great way for Lay's to get free marketing. We're going to rebrand because this survey, like who did they survey? I think it's just be able to say, look, we need to go back to the basics. Lay's, have you noticed, like even when you go to a foreign country, Lay's potato chips, there are a million different flavors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. You can get ramen flavor in Japan and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, which I like, but after a while, it's like, is it even a potato chip anymore? It's all about the flavors versus it's not the actual potatoes that are.
Well, Lay's is 3 ingredients, though. It's like vegetable oil, potatoes, and salt, with potatoes being the number one ingredient.
Flavorings.
Yeah. Well, for the flavored ones, yes. I think we are actually this dumb as a society. Famously back in, I think it was the 80s, Burger King came out with a third of a pound burger, and they just marketed the heck out of it.
Yes.
Third of a pound. They did not specify that it was bigger than McDonald's quarter-pound burger, but they implied it. People did not buy the third of a pound burger because they thought 1/3 was smaller than 1/4 because a 4 is bigger than a 3. That is America. 7% of us think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. That's 22 million Americans. Let's
Do you
see.
think people are trolling on these surveys?
No, I absolutely do.
my
Okay,
gosh.
how about this? Only 1 in 3 Americans can name all 3 branches of government. Do you believe that?
That I believe. Yeah, that I believe. I know as someone who became an American citizen and had to study for the citizenship test, I know that I would be willing to bet that a majority of Americans today could not pass that test.
Probably not. You have to name, state capitals and all kinds of stuff.
13 original states, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I probably would not pass. So, hey, sign me up. I'm American. What can I say? All right, here's a story that'll make you believe in good sportsmanship again. High school girls basketball team in Oklahoma just gave back their championship trophy after realizing they didn't actually win. So this is the Academy of Classical Christian Studies. They thought they'd pulled off a dramatic 44-43 buzzer beater victory over Apache High. But when head coach Brendan King went home that night and rewatched the game, he noticed something didn't add up on the scoreboard. He recounted every basket and discovered there was an error, and the real score was 43-42. Technically, it didn't matter because league rules say once the game's over, results stand. But Coach King said he couldn't live with it. He told his players, and they all agreed that keeping the trophy would feel wrong. So he contacted the league. The league approved, and the coach personally hand-delivered the championship plaque to Apache High.
Okay,
Ursula.
First of all, and what's the name of the school?
Academy of Classical Christian Studies.
Okay, and I think there's a great lesson there. And I think it's one of those where you can look and say sportsmanship is much more important than winning the game. And I love that. But I'm curious. So my mind immediately went to how often do coaches go through the game like that, look at the score and say, I'm wondering if during the game he thought, something not right there.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like you have in
but
your
you can't
gut,
review it.
But you can't review it. And so then you go back and review and then realize. So he probably had in his gut. Because how many, and coaches, tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't remember a coach ever going through.
No, because mistakes happen
score.
all the time. And if
so
you're
you
talking
might
about high
have
school
felt
basketball.
Like, okay, there was something that wasn't right and I got to go check.
Would you do
sure
this?
Enough,
if you noticed?
Yes. Because in your heart, you know you didn't win. You really didn't win. And I think there's a bigger lesson there. Like, would you?
I don't know. I don't know that I would because there are all kinds of errors that happen. You don't see scoring errors at the professional level very often. But, if it's a high school basketball game, you have some volunteer, some high school kid who's hitting the button with the score.
But in this case, that's not what happened. And you would hope that people would do the same thing.
Here's the deal. Again, errors happen all the time. So a referee will make a mistake. They either call a foul, don't call a foul. Somebody traveled or they didn't travel, right? And those things can go either way. If you had known earlier in the game that you were down 4 points instead of 2, you would have coached your team differently and you would have approached the end of the game much differently. You would have known from the outset that you were down. So the fact that you didn't catch it during the game means it was your mistake as well, and you get to own that.
Yeah, I think if once I knew, and I think he in his gut had an idea that something went wrong, you didn't actually win.
Can you ever fathom this happening in professional sports? Because we see blown calls all the time that change the outcome of a game. I've never once had a coach say, that one actually was supposed to go their way.
Yeah.
That's just not how we compete.
Speaking of which, we're having this conversation last night as we were watching the Mariners game and giving up, so the strike box and having refs no longer umpires no longer call the strikes. What do you think about that?
I like it because it's a challenge system, right? It's not a robot calling balls and strikes the whole game. It's just that each team gets to challenge a couple. And, there were 2 egregious strikeouts yesterday where there was a ball 3 inches outside or inside of the zone, and that was strike 3 for the Mariners. You'd love to be able to challenge that call.
Huh. Yeah, I was wondering,
Aaron getting it right.
Yeah.
I think it's good. We've been doing it for the past couple of years down in Tacoma in the minor leagues, and it's been
works.
Very efficient with the game. And if the umpire's having a bad night, you can always just question him and challenge him, And if you continue to be correct in your challenges, it doesn't expire the opportunity to challenge a strike or a ball.
Yeah. Interesting, though. It's like, does that take away from what the umps do then? I mean, are they going to still have a lot to do?
I wish they'd take away the little box, actually, on the strike
do?
zone. Yes, because then you know without a doubt that was a ball, right? Whereas before, you'd have to argue about it with the people in the room. No, that was outside. No, that was right there.
Yeah.
The ambiguity is part of the fun in sports.
They still act as communicators of the game, and they keep order still within the teams.
Okay, but it's nice to know that it works in the minor leagues. Okay, hey, coming up, we are going to share some of your feedback and our words to live by. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
It's one of the busiest roads in our area, and it's one of the most cheated on toll systems in the state. I'm talking 167. That free ride ends next week, and I'm going to tell you all about it in Choke Points, Tuesday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Chris Sullivan's Choke Points on Seattle's Morning News. Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Save 30% on select perennials now at Sky Nursery.
I'm Jen, the greenhouse manager at Sky Nursery. For gardeners in the Pacific Northwest, fall is like a second spring. It's a great time to plant. You have so many options that will look gorgeous now and set you up beautifully for next year's springtime garden. Sky Nursery, the gardener's garden store, no matter the time of year.
Save 30% on select perennials while supplies last. More savings and details at skynursery.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
And just like that, we are at the end of our Monday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Sure appreciate you all hanging out with us. Many of you, all 3 hours, and we cannot thank you enough for that. Chef, why don't you start? Because we have a lot of people weighing in on the Mariners.
A lot of folks love the Mariners.
Yes.
206, I left my beloved Chicago Cubs 37 years ago and embraced our new team, the Mariners. We've been there for all the ups and downs ever since. My daughter was with us in 95 as a 4-year-old, stomping peanuts in the aisles and watching baseball. These are my memories of family time. I also had a crush on Dan Wilson, and to see him now is priceless. Still looks good.
Hey, what is it with coaches and the chomping of that gum?
I think it's a lot of anxiety to watch.
It's true.
Yeah.
Dave in Snohomish County says, when the Mariners got into the playoffs, listening to all of the local media and people talking, it sounded like they'd already won the World Series. I'm thinking that a lot of the exuberance around the team is also that it's a major distraction from the reality of life for a lot of people. True. There are so many important issues that are up in the air that have something to hold on to that brings you joy and happiness. It's easy to amplify and hard to let go of. I hope they go all the way and win it all, but I do wonder what folks will hold on to after that.
And Tammy in the 360 said, I was at my mom and dad's house. We were having my dad's celebration of life the next day. My husband was here also, and Mom and I had grown weary and crawled into bed to watch the rest of the game. So Mom and I were in bed watching the game with intent and got to see the Mariners win. It was so special to share it with her.
That is wonderful. 425 says, I think the hunger that fans have this go around is far more intense than it was 24 to 30 years ago. The hype's been built up similar to the Cubs years ago. That means the World Series, win or lose, is going to be dangerously intense.
Oh my gosh, 206. I'm recovering from a Widowmaker heart attack I had in September. I was watching the Mariners versus Tigers game Friday night as I lay in bed. Had the TV on with the sound off. My sound was Rick Riz on 710. I like that. Good tip. I did not miss a second of it. It was absolutely thrilling and spectacular. Sir, I am worried about you. I have to say, take care of your heart.
Yes.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yes, I know. And this is not for the
faint of
heart. Yeah, no. Yeah. Marty in Crossroads says, Mariners full in. The games are a welcome respite from current events. I actually take a calming breath when I hear that first pitch. Even though the games are anxiety riddled, it's the good kind of anxiety.
Childcare in Seattle is among the most expensive in the country. 206 says, I've worked in childcare for over 20 years, from teaching preschool to managing at some of the most well-known sites. About 8 years ago, I had to go back to being a nanny because of how little I made teaching. I miss it, but I have to pay for my own family.
Allison in Stillicum says, I have to work the opposite shift of my husband to avoid childcare costs. We have no family that can help. My daughter's preschool is $500 a month for 3 days a week. If we could pay her teachers more, we would. In general, the people who take care of our most important generations, whether it's kids and the elderly, are the most underpaid, and it kills me. It shouldn't be that way. So well said.
Last from the 425, my kids who live in Bothell pay $4,800 a month. My grandkids are 5 and 3. Next year, they'll save money by sending my oldest to kindergarten at a Christian private school, which is cheaper than daycare.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for a lot of people. Wow. On priests no longer being required to report abuse if brought up during confession, but they are still mandatory reporters outside of that. 425 said, this is a moot point. The only reason anyone's going to confess to something like that to a priest is because they know the priest can't say anything about it. If you change that, no one's going to bring those sins to confession.
Very last one here. 42% of Americans didn't know that potato chips are made of potatoes. Joe in Shoreline points out, remember Chicken of the Sea?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Wasn't that Jessica Simpson?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it was.
Oh, no. I have more faith in people. I think that was just for the show. Okay, let's do our words to live by. This is from Maddie Stepanek. And I'm inspired by the M's and what they're doing right now. Unity is strength. And when there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. They're in it to win it. They refuse to lose. And we are going to talk about the great game that they had tomorrow. So thank you all. Appreciate you. Chef, thank you for doing a great job. Nick, love ya.
Well, Chapter 5 was one that we'll remember through the years. After 9 innings was not enough for Mariners' hopes and fears, but a sweet 15 and 25 to move on in the dance while we hold on with a stronger grip to have a better chance. And we don't have to go to drastic measures for our team, like changing Riley's last name to Big Dumper on his seams. I think some fans have already taken care of that with his jersey, so that's a box checked off.
Okay. Hey, stick around. The Jake and Spike Show is coming up next, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. Love
Hope
you.
you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
There you go.
Let it ride.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
Why don't you get your kid off the phone?
you can do that now. No, I'm not there yet. Getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio App. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees and transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Spike O'Neill here. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens gave me back the perfect vision I had up until a few years ago. Now, never need glasses again. Never develop cataracts. Been about 6 months since my RLE surgery. My vision is better than it's ever been in my life. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, privately owned, no corporate shareholders or boardrooms. Dr. Sharp built his business on the principle of always strive to overaccomplish, never overprice. Call 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gee and Ursula on KIRO Newsradio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
I just learned 10% of our electricity in Washington comes from nuclear energy.
I've heard it's reliable and has a small footprint, but what about the waste?
It's not what you might think. No overflowing dumpsters or leaking barrels. Used fuel is safely stored in solid form after powering homes, schools, and businesses for years. All nuclear power plants in the U.S. store their used fuel responsibly to protect the environment.
Where can I learn more?
You can learn about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com. Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.